this weekend, it's the return to flyweight for Amanda Ribas since she was a minus 700 favorite and beat Paige Van Zandt, sent her to BKFC, and that was way back when. And listen, if you do look at it for Amanda Ribas, she has kind of jumped and juggled between the two divisions, fought a good level of competition outside of the UFC, obviously fought a decent level of competition inside of the UFC, and her last time out, she beat a fellow fighter who's on this card at strawweight in the former Invicta strawweight champ, Virna Jandiroba. So for Ribas, the 5-on-in, very, very good at 4-1. A win over Mackenzie Dern, one over Randa Marcos, one over Paige Van Zandt. The loss to Marina Rodriguez, she got finished in that fight, if you will remember. And then, of course, the win over Jandiroba. For Katlyn Chookagian, the 5-on-in, incredibly good at this weight class of 125. The win over Antonina Shevchenko got her fight against Jessica Andrade, where she lost. Then she picks up big wins over Cynthia Calvillo, that girl is nasty, Viviane Araujo, and Jennifer Maia in the rematch, where it was pretty much the same thing as the first time they fought. Oh, Katlyn Chookagian. So, Matt, I look at this fight, and I could spend 30 seconds on this one, burn the page, and go to the next one. But I do look at this one as Katlyn Chookagian, number one contender in this division. She's guarding everybody from fighting Valentina Shevchenko.
I disagree a little. I still think Jessica Andrade is ahead of her in the whole grand scheme of things. Like, Andrade has the same key wins as she does at this weight class, and she knocked out Chookagian in under a round. I agree with you. No, you're right. Chookagian is in one of those weird spots where you're almost like the Alexander Gustafsson at 205, where it's, hey, you're really, really good. We all think you're great, but you're not as good as DC, and you're not as good as John Jones, but you're better than everybody else.
Do you think Shevchenko pays to have that moat around her house that is Katlyn Chookagian?
She has kind of become sort of a safeguard for the champion, to where Katlyn Chookagian knows that, okay, if I can defend a few more, maybe Valentina will give me another shot at the title. We all probably know how that's going to go if that does happen again, but let's not worry about that bridge until we cross it. This should be a really fun fight for Chookagian, because, like you said, she's in a weird spot in the division to where she could probably get a title shot if there isn't anyone with a lot of hype behind them in the division. Chookagian is always someone you could throw in there because she does have wins over a lot of the key names in the division, but Ribas should offer her a very unique challenge because we all know Chookagian. What's she good at? Ha-ha, move. Ha-ha, move. She's really good at striking on her back foot. She has great movement in the cage, but something that Ribas has, and I do think it's a little underrated, she's a very good striker offensively with her own movement. She does move forward with her kicks very well, and I think that's going to be a really important part to this game because if she is chasing Chookagian a lot, most fighters can't catch Chookagian with their hands because she's using her feet to get away. Ribas, on the other hand, should be able to use her legs offensively to maybe cut down on the legs of Chookagian, hit the body some, slow down some of the feet and some of the cardio that Katlyn has, and maybe it'll make this fight a lot better as it goes on, because if Katlyn's able to just stay on her bike and move backwards, it's going to be a really hard night for Amanda Ribas. I don't think she really has the power to hurt Katlyn with that one big shot like Jessica Andrade does. But on the other hand, I do think Ribas has some of the tools that can stay consistent throughout this fight to where if Katlyn does start to slow down, maybe Ribas can make it a very competitive third round.
We know how good Ribas is with her grappling, with her jiu-jitsu, her plotting forward style, the ability to cut off the cage against her opponents, mixing it up head and body, pumping that jab out there, slipping out of the way of some of the bigger shots, and landing her big right hand. We've seen all of these tools in the past. And for Katlyn Chookagian, good movement on the feet, steady. The most steady fighter that there's ever been, especially in this division. And again, for Chookagian, former CFFC great. I mean, former title holder over there. We look at the odds for this fight.
Former bantamweight too, sorry. If I can, like, Amanda Ribas can fight at strawweight, has fought at strawweight, should probably be a strawweight. Katlyn Chookagian beat Irene Aldana at 135 at UFC 205. I do expect quite a big size discrepancy between these two fighters, and I do expect Katlyn Chookagian to at least be the bigger fighter frame-wise, and quite significantly.
Chookagian opened to minus 175. She's now minus 170, so a slight movement there. Ribas open a plus 150, or sorry, a plus 130. She's a plus 135 as it stands. We have a look at the Topology votes. Surprise to us, they are to you. Amanda Ribas has a lot more Instagram followers, but out of that, I'm going to say over under 70% Chookagian.
I'll say over.
I'm going to say over, slightly over. 607 total votes, 72% Chookagian. 92% by decision for the 28% that have Ribas, 70% by decision, 19% by submission. I think just like Letterkenny in Canada, it's a pitter-patter, let's get at her. Katlyn Chookagian wins a decision.
Unless you do have fight-ending ability, and I mean like genuine fight-ending ability,
And
which
Ribas has it, but
I don't think like other than Jessica and Valentina, not a lot of fighters in this weight class do. Not a lot of fighters in this weight class can finish you on the feet or on the ground in a multitude of different ways. Like Ribas can finish you, but it has to be in some very specific scenarios where you're a little tired. She can isolate an arm on the ground. Katlyn, I think, is a very intelligent fighter, and she can fight off the back foot. And the other thing I will say, Chookagian was always known as a volume striker. The wrinkle she's added into her game post-Valentina title shot has definitely been her own offensive grappling. So I wouldn't even be surprised if we even saw a Chookagian offensive takedown just to change the look of this fight at any point, really.
that Antonina Shevchenko fight melted my mind for Katlyn Chookagian. It was wild. We're going with the moat. We're going with the blonde fighter. Katlyn Chookagian to get the win. You let us know down below in the comments section who you have. Is it Brazil's Amanda Ribas training back at home, Academia Ribas, or do you have New Jersey's own, Pennsylvania's own? It's Katlyn Chookagian
With one of the most aggressive entrance songs of all time.
in a big-time opportunity to hear some DMX. So keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks, and as we always say, let's get into it.